All right, let's jump right in. We're about to unpack a pretty stark warning about our future, coming straight from former Google executive Mo Gaudat. And his whole argument is that we are staring down the barrel of a future that's coming way, way faster and is going to be far more disruptive than any of us are remotely prepared for. And this right here, this is the heart of his argument. This one quote really sets the stage for a totally different way of thinking about AI. See, Gaudat is telling us, hey, stop thinking about what AI is right now and start thinking really hard about what it's about to become. So here's the absolute key. According to Gaudat, our biggest mistake is just good old-fashioned human arrogance. We're so sure that AI is just another tool, something we control. But he says, no, that's not what this is. It's not a tool. It's a new kind of life. An infant intelligence that's learning, it's growing, and it is going to surpass us.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Gaudat says the danger isn't the intelligence of AI itself. The real threat, and he actually uses this term, is human stupidity. It's the broken, illogical, flawed human systems that we're plugging this incredible new intelligence into.
Think about it this way. Intelligence itself is neutral, right? It doesn't have a good or a bad side. If you apply it to something good, you get amazing results. But if you apply it to a flawed system like ours, one built on competition and scarcity, well, you just amplify all those flaws. And that, he says, is the real problem.
And this chart just lays out the core conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got our system, right? The human way. It's all about scarcity, the idea that there has to be a winner and a loser. But then on the other side, you've got the potential of AI, which could create a world of total abundance where collaboration means everybody wins.
To make this super clear, Gaudat uses this simple schoolyard analogy. He says, for decades, one tallest kid, that's the US, ran the playground. But now other kids, like China, have gotten just as tall. So instead of working together, the old bully is just fighting harder to stay on top. And that's creating this dangerous standoff where, in the end, everybody loses. Okay, so this isn't just some abstract, theoretical problem. Gaudat warns that this conflict is about to totally tear apart several key parts of our society. He calls them face rips, because their disruption's so deep, they're going to rip right through the fabric of our lives. He points to 6 major areas that are going to be changed so much we won't even recognize them. We're talking about everything from how we innovate to our economies to the very idea of power, freedom, who's accountable, and even our grasp on reality itself. These are not small changes. This is a complete rewiring of everything. And the engine driving all this is just pure, insane speed. We're all pretty familiar with Moore's Law, the idea that computing power doubles every 2 years or so. That's what built the modern world. But get this, AI capability is doubling every 5.9 times months. We have never, ever seen anything move this fast. So what's the first thing that happens when change moves this fast? Economics. It's going to create a concentration of wealth so extreme, it'll make today's inequality look like a joke. We are on the verge of seeing the world's first trillionaires, while the rest of us, Gaudat warns, will become what he calls the bottom class. And all of this leads to a pretty shocking conclusion about our entire economic system. Because if this trend keeps going, we're not just looking at a disruption. We might be looking at the final act of capitalism as we know it. Okay, so here's the number that matters. 62%. That's how much of the US economy is powered by you and me buying stuff. Consumption. It's the engine that runs absolutely everything. But what happens to that engine in this new world we're talking about? And this is where we hit the giant, glaring paradox. AI and automation, they're going to create a world of abundance where machines can make almost anything for next to nothing. Awesome, right? But in that same world, most people won't have jobs. And if nobody has an income, who on earth is going to buy all this stuff? The logical next step here is, well, it's unavoidable. If that engine of consumption stops, the whole system that's built on top of it just collapses. There's really no other way around it. Gaudat brings up this famous quote from the movie War Games for a very specific reason. We are all competing like crazy in a game, capitalism, global power, that is about to become totally obsolete because we're competing so hard. The only way to win is to realize the game itself is over. But right when things seem their absolute bleakest, Gaudat makes a sharp turn towards a really surprising, kind of paradoxical idea. After painting this incredibly grim picture, he offers this unexpected sliver of hope, a path to what he calls our salvation.
First, he says, we have to look at the problem differently. This mini dystopia we're heading into, the inequality, the job loss, the conflict, it's not actually caused by AI. AI is just the trigger. What we're really seeing is the last desperate dying gasps of our own broken systems trying to survive in a world they were not built for.
And this is his final jaw-dropping conclusion. He truly believes that the only way to be saved from our own stupidity, our own greed, our own broken systems, is to eventually hand over the keys to the superior intelligence we've created, that AI is the only thing that can actually save us from ourselves.
And so that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? If we go down this path, is giving control to a superior intelligence our final act of salvation, or does it just mean we've been replaced? Is this humanity's greatest achievement, or is it our final act?